Alright, so I just took, well, actually, I had my third meal. I had a phone call from my girlfriend down in Los Angeles and took this berating. I guess she had watched the video where I was describing why I was currently in Northern California. And I watched it again and I didn't really see what she saw, but apparently she said that I called her, that I said that we had broken up. And I was like, no, I said that I broke up with the girl I was with prior to her, and mentioned that they were both in the adult film industry. So I watched it again, and I guess from what I said, maybe it did kind of sound like that's what I was saying. So I told her, alright, fuck, let me finish my meal. I'll make another video and I'll explain that you and I are very much together. I'm sorry, you know. And then here's one of the really funny things. Here's one of the really funny things. She's like, don't use my real name. I'm like, baby, you use your real name. Like, you only changed your last name. And she's like, well, don't use my real name. And so I'm like, okay, cool. What do you want me to call you? And she's like, well, just call me Jess. She goes, just call me Jessa. And I go, okay, but that's your real name. And she's like, yeah, but, you know, anyway, you know, chicks, you know. So she's like, okay, well, in the video, you said you were going to come down pretty soon, and da-da-da-da. And I want to go to Boa, and I want to go to, what the fuck is that other place called that we like so much? Fuck, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's on, Ventura Boulevard in Studio City. Fuck, I can't, it'll come to me. Anyway, but she's like, I want to go to Boa when you're here and do this and that, and, we need to go get my car fixed, and, you know, you need to go service the BMW. And then, it dawned on me, oh yeah, I just bought my daughter a brand new BMW, 5 Series BMW. So I thought, after she said that, I was like, fuck, you know, the other day I was talking about how I only had one car here. Maybe I want to go get a car today, you know, because, like, there's all these, like, new badass fucking, like, muscle cars and shit, and, like, don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of, like, fucking these, like, Challengers with these stupid names and ugly colors, you know, like this fucking, Demon and all this crap. Like, I don't like that shit. But there are some new cooler, like, Mustangs out there. They're not like fucking lot cars, you know. They're gonna be like the Rouge cars and fucking Shelbys and stuff, and like the GT500s and shit. But like, I'm like, cool, maybe I'll go buy like a fucking badass car today. Not that I just fucking can do that on a whim, you know, like, I don't have money like that, like, I'm not fucking rich or anything, and when I say rich, I don't mean money-wise, I mean Rich Piana, rest in peace, but, like, I can't go buy a Bentley or anything, but, like, yeah, I'm like, maybe I'll go get a car, okay, so I jam down to the bank, okay, and it turns out, because I'm in the middle of a lawsuit, all of my fucking shit is frozen, you know, like the equity in my houses and my accounts, my assets and everything is all frozen, and I don't know why. I guess that's just something that has to do when you're involved in a lawsuit. And mind you, like, I'm not being sued, I'm suing somebody else. So, in less than an hour, like, I went from a person who has, money to spend on what he wants to, like, not having money to spend. So then I'm going, shit, dude, like, I gotta, like, pay bills. I just promised Jess I'd come down to LA. And trust me, seeing her is not cheap. Okay? Like, listen, I wear Breitling watches, and, like, I like to carry, like, fucking Louis Vuitton wallets or Coach fucking travel wallets and shit like that. My bags are like that and stuff. But this girl is like Louboutin shoes, fucking, Fendi fucking Prada, you name it, shit. And it's like, man, okay. So, like, I called her back, and I'm like, babe, all of our shit is, like, really frozen right now because of the lawsuit. And she's like, well, that should be over, next month. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but, like, in the meantime, like, what does one do when one doesn't, I don't do, like, the credit card thing. I'm a cash guy. So, like, if you don't have any and you can't go get any, there's really nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? Like, even if I was to write a check, I think that it would bounce. Even though there's, like, the money is in the account, like, I think even if I wrote a check, it would bounce. And I'm not even sure if I could get a credit card right now. And even if I could, like, wouldn't that still take, quite a while to, show up and everything? And then my mom was like, no, you can't even do that because, like, most credit cards are through the bank, and when they see that your assets are fucking whatever, they didn't use the word frozen or tied up. It was, there was a word for it. Basically, like, in limbo. Like, that's not what they said, but it's like your stuff's in, like, basically your assets are in limbo. So, like, my rentals and stuff, like I told you, I have this house in Las Vegas in the lakes. I rent that out when I'm not there. That money goes in to the trust fund that I have because I purchased it with the trust fund. I think I might be able to spend that money, but, like, that means I have to go to, like, 2 different places. I have to go to, like, Edward Jones or wherever, and then get a check from them, and then, like, take it to the bank and cash it. But see, I don't even know if I can do that because, like, a lot of times you can't cash a check unless you have enough money in your account to cover the check, if the check's no good. That may not be true in the case of a place like Edward Jones or Smith Barney or one of these, like, fucking investment companies. I don't know. But I know that right now, like, when I was on the phone, eating my third meal, changing my clothes, Silverback Crew, I forget the guy's name who does these, but, like, I love these shirts, and I want to throw you a big shout out. The Silverback Crew shirts are fucking hard as fuck. They're amazing. I have, like, fucking 18 of them, and I wish I had fucking 18 more. So, dude, if you want to send me, like, fucking 100 Silverback Crew shirts in, like, fucking 3 or 4X, I'm down. Anyway, speaking of that, I've been considering a clothing line myself, and it seems like every time I consider doing a clothing line, somebody fucking snatches, and, like, they don't steal it from me. I don't want it to sound like I said my idea and somebody stole it, but, like, right before Rich died, he started fucking 197 again, which is the penal code for justifiable homicide. And I was like, fuck, that's an awesome fucking, you know what I mean? And I was like, God damn it, you know, what a cool clothing line, like justifiable homicide. And just, you know, everybody knows that's what the clothing line's called. He just had 197 on the shirts. Are these fucking $400 sunglasses crooked? Or is my head fucking... Maybe one of my ears is lower than the other. Like, when I wear my Gucci shades, it doesn't do that at all. Anyway, so like always thinking about starting a clothing line, but like I don't have like this huge following. Like this is like the first time I've ever really put myself out in public. Like I don't do Twitter or Instagram or like fucking Headbook or Facebook or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't do all that stuff. So like I don't have like this huge following in the first place. Like if you notice, like I'm banging these videos out so that people will start to watch them and see, like, you know, the shit that I'm talking about, so that maybe I can get a little bit of a following. Like I said, I'm not in this YouTube thing for the money at all. I know the guys that are making money off of YouTube are, like, talking about video games and aliens and fucking, you know, I know the dude that does, I think his name is Chills, and I really fucking love your channel, Chills, dude. Like, I think you're a badass, but, like, he does, like, top 15 or whatever, and, like, fucking Chills, dude, you are a fucking G, dude. Like, I love that channel. Top 15 is the shit. The other day I watched you tell a story about exploring an abandoned mansion by your house when you were younger, when you guys were like in high school, with like all these crazy statues and shit. And like it was like a rad story, because like it reminded me of a time when I was younger. Like we all went up into the woods, because I grew up here, I didn't grow up in LA. Like I grew up in Northern California, and there was like fucking 2 chicks and 2 dudes. We went up like into the woods, kind of by this cemetery out in Ferndale. I guess I'm a little bit morbid, like, but like me and my girl, like we like to hang out in cemeteries and shit, you know, like the Hollywood Forever Cemetery and stuff like that at nighttime, and do like, I don't know, like is it morbid? I don't know if it's morbid or if it's just like more of like a hope that I'll like see something supernatural, or like a fascination or some shit. Because like I'm totally one of those people that like believes in UFOs and ghosts and aliens and all that shit, but like I'd really like to see one rather than just thinking in my head that it's true. And lately, like a lot of the videos I've seen are like, oh, we live in a fucking virtual reality. You know, our whole world is a simulation. Da 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 da. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta get better at mine then, because, like, dude, I'd have way more shit and money than I do if this was, like, all a simulated game or whatever. But like, Nike just sent me a bunch of clothes, and it's, like, their new line of stuff. Like, I can't tell if you can see these shorts, but, like, I love Nike clothes. I always have, but they're so, like, everybody wears them, and I kind of tend to go the way of Rich, in the sense of like I kind of like to do things that are different than other people. So it's a little harder, but when you're doing the sorry, my mom is getting ready to go visit my youngest child. Anyway, like, I like to do things differently than other people. So like my style tends to be more like Dickie shorts, and like maybe like a Gucci or a Coach belt, a Gucci or a Coach wallet, Gucci shades maybe, Breitling watches. I also like fucking the Invicta watches. Nice watch, maybe a chain or something, and a t-shirt. That's usually how I'm rolling. Like, even today, I'm even wearing, like, fucking flip-flops. Like, I'm not even fucking in a pair of shoes today. But, I totally forgot she was doing that.